Assalamualaikum guys. So as my Makkah overall video did really well, I thought I would do another video which was the overall Medina experience. So I wanted to go through the hotel and how far the hotel was from Masjid Nabi and museums and best places to shop and things. So let's get right to it. So basically it is quite a few hours trip. You can see here it's 4 hours 43 minutes from the hotel that we were at, which was in Makkah, and it was Marwa Rayan 5-star hotel. And we did actually stop in the middle of the journey, so it was well over 5 hours it took us, but we were in this comfortable people carrier type of vehicle, so we weren't kind of squashed up in a small car, and it felt really safe, smooth journey. And on the route we seen these baboons. People were actually stopping and feeding them, and they were attached to some of the cars as well, so I thought that was quite funny and cute, and the kids loved seeing the animals as well. But because they're outdoor animals, I wouldn't go and pet them and things. This is Crown Plaza, which is very close to Masjid Nabi, so it wasn't too far at all. And you can see here it's a lot more calm compared to Makkah, and it's a lot cleaner, and I actually found the people a lot overall nicer here. So we were just getting our stuff out, and we're just getting familiar with our new surroundings. So this is the reception area. We were just checking in, and instantly it was so much nicer. The staff were so much more nicer and helpful and willing to kind of go out of their way and help you. At the reception there's a business centre, so you can kind of log in, access your emails, and you pay for printouts. That's on the right hand side of opposite the reception. And this was our room. This was so comfortable. This was actually a lot nicer and a lot more comfortable than the Makkah hotel. Ideal toilet. You can just see here there's no glass in the shower, so the whole bathroom would always fill up with water. So again, be very mindful when you've got kids. And as soon as we arrived into our room, we got a phone call from reception asking if we needed anything and if we were happy with our room, which we were so tired and from the journey that we were really happy. And this is the same idea as the Makkah hotel. There's a safe, there's scales to weigh your bags, there was a robe here, ironing board, so all the kind of essentials that you need. No desk like the Makkah hotel. Well, there is a desk. Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. It had our name, Vikar's name, on the phone, and this was a kind of working desk, but it was kind of a little bit hard to access because it was wedged in to the wall. In the reception area, you can get this Arabic coffee, which tastes horrible. And just wanted to give you an idea of the breakfast. We had breakfast booked with the hotel, so this is the breakfast options. I think they were a lot better than the Makkah options because there was cereal, but it was hot milk that you could get, and then with a language barrier it was hard to get cold milk. This is all the breads, and again, very strange options, like corn and like strange curry, so we just kind of gravitated to what looked familiar. This is lentil, it's like a lentil soup, and that's like a kind of porridge soup that's very traditional. I just went for the randomest combinations like wedgies, and there's this coffee machine there as well, which only worked on one day, and even here there's no milk. This is how far the Crown Plaza was to Masjid Nabi, and it takes you to gate 302, which is closest to the male entrance. You have to walk all the way around to the female entrance, so if you are booking this hotel, just be mindful that if there's anyone that struggles to walk any great distance, you may be better getting a hotel round the female side, or if you're willing to walk, when you walk in you have to walk all the way around on the grounds to get to the other side, and they do not allow you to pray in these on the grounds. They will kind of chase you. Bakar was mid-namaz when we were reading it one time because we couldn't get into Haram to read namaz, and the guy and the police officer was shouting at him and pushed him, so he had to just grab his stuff and go into the masjid. So it's not ideal. This is on these grounds. On the left hand side when you walk in, there is a museum, and this is what it looks like from the inside. You couldn't take a lot of movies or pictures, they didn't really allow it, and it was a very, very brief overall in the life of our Prophet. I'll list down below the prices. It's more expensive if you book on the day, but if you book advance it's slightly cheaper. It wasn't too much, but I think it was kind of nicer to look at than actually didn't feel like you learned a lot. You can see here, these are the streets, they just felt super clean, and people were a lot less rough here because they are a lot more, I feel like they're a bit more aggressive and get a bit too close to you and things. And overall I actually feel a bit more safer here in Medina. These are a lot of the shops, there's loads of shops nearby, and the closer you go to Masjid Nabi, the more expensive the shops are, so I wouldn't shop here. If you can go away from Masjid Nabi and do your shopping for souvenirs, you can get, this is actually cheaper than Mecca for gifts, but the further away you go from Masjid Nabi, the more cheaper it gets. You can actually get 3 Riyal, 2 Riyal, even 1 Riyal stores, but there was no 1 Riyal stores that we seen in Mecca. I'll try and remember the name of the street and I'll put it into the description if I can work out where it was. Vakar knew where it was, so we just walked and I just kind of followed him. There was like an opposite side, and this is like a little crammed grocery shop we would go. The kids would get like a little milkshake just to put into the fridge and some cold drinks, and that's an option for you if your kids don't like anything in the hotel. This is the Kabutar Chowk, and you can see in the background Masjid Nabi, and it's gate 310 in the background. So you just buy the dana, the feed from the people, and it's like a traditional thing that people do when they come to Ummrah, and they feed the pigeons, and it's like an act of charity as well, I guess. So all of us did this. Wakar, my husband, and the kids did it, and also I had a little shot at doing it as well. Apologise in advance for a little bit of the wonky camera here. I don't know what happened to my auto stabilisation, but this was one morning. We were going to Masjid Nabi for Fajr Namaz, and you can see, like, as soon as you come out of the hotel, this is the direct route to Masjid Nabi. It really isn't far, and you can just see the rush of people running to the masjid to read namaz. It's such a beautiful feeling. I said this about the Makkah and the Makkah overall video as well, that it's just such a nice feeling that you're away from your worldly distractions and you're focusing on just reading your namaz and running to Masjid Nabi for extra rewards. You can see here on the right hand side the green fire engine, and then on the left hand side as you're walking into Haram there's a medical facility. Just be mindful that there's an assumption made that your visa covers access to medical facilities, but I think I was told when we were there that you have to go to one out of the city that's available via your visa, so just be very mindful of what visa you have and don't assume that it's going to covered by all medical facilities. Just research that depending on your visa and the country you're travelling from, and just be mindful of where to go for any medical treatments. So this is us walking in to Haram. It's just such a busy place, and these umbrellas were always open day and night, so we never actually, while we were there, we never got to see them open and close, otherwise I would have made a video. And this was one night we were just waiting for Maghrib Namaz, and it's so beautiful here, mashallah. It's lovely to watch the sunrise, the sunset, and it's so calming, and I think the people are a lot more different here as well, so I think that overall we enjoyed our experience here. This was my kind of view on using the Nusuk app to access Riyaz al-Jannat. So it's Garden of Paradise, and you're only allowed to read the 6th Nafil here, and it was not a very nice experience, and you get to see our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's tomb from the opposite side, so we don't get to see it the way that the men see it, and that's how we do our salam. But I was really excited to read namaz in the Garden of Paradise, but people were kind of like praying over you and pushing you, and when I was trying to pray, I was so close to another woman's backside, so it was not really the most pleasant experience. I couldn't even complete my namaz by doing my dua there. So guys, the scene here we're looking at is when we were leaving Masjid Nabi, and we're heading to the airport to go back home, and I was just enjoying looking, and you can still see it peeking in the background, and I was just taking it in for the last time because I didn't know if I would ever get a chance to come back again. It was a wonderful experience. The weather, I should also mention as well, the weather here is a lot cooler compared to Mecca. As you'll know as well, the Mecca heat is very, very intense, and it feels a lot more cooler. It is obviously hot during the day, but it is cooler in the evening, and I feel like families probably enjoy Mecca more. Sorry, they enjoy Medina more than Mecca, because Mecca is quite overwhelming, whereas this is a lot more chilled pace. And there's, once you've done your Ummrah and you come here, you can enjoy it. And I think if we were ever to go again, we would come to Medina first, then you can acclimatise and get used to it, and then from there, if you put your ihram on and go to Mecca, it's a whole different experience. So this was us at the airport, and we got our Abi Zamzam from here. We just got our suitcase packed because it was broken, and we got our Abi Zamzam. You can use your visa so we bought 4 bottles of Abi Zamzam, and I'll break down the price below. This was us waiting to check in. It was very slow. There's obviously a language barrier, but the man at the check-in desk, everything was going fine, and then he could see my daughter was in a buggy, and when he seen the buggy, he was really angry that I never told him about the buggy, which, you know, he asked how many bags, he didn't ask about the buggy, so I feel like that was a bit, like, not the best, but we managed to get through, and we had to wait 45 minutes for our flight. It was delayed, and that meant when we arrived in Doha 45 minutes late, we missed our connecting flight because we only had a 1-hour connection. So this is a big problem when you have short connection times. We have short connections coming in and when we were leaving Saudi Arabia, so be very mindful. And then when you have kids, it really, really tires them out as well. This was in the middle of the night. My daughter was so tired. But then when we did eventually get on the plane, it's just kind of like you felt like you were homeward bound. So you felt like, right, that's us arriving in Doha, and then from there we'll grab our connecting flight and we'll head home. But then we had to wait for a connecting flight, which was, when we arrived there, our departing flight from Doha was going to be 8 in the morning, but it ended up being, if I'm correct, about 2 a.m. So they did put us up in a hotel because it ended up being something like an 18-hour delay. So that was really, really good of them, and it meant that we all could have a wee bit of rest, freshen up. But that's why it's really important to pack spare clothes, because you can't always plan for certain things going wrong, and we could never have preempted this. So if you like this content, stay tuned for the following video about our stay.